Alrighty, hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cryptic Coil, and in today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and do a small little book haul for you. I have been thrifting and um, I've been picking up books lately, but I'm not gonna show you everything I bought lately. I'm just gonna show you some highlights. So let's go ahead and jump into it, and let's start off with middle grade. So this was a really cool find. I found a Lois Duncan book that I don't already have, or one that I've ever really even heard of before. It's called Hotel for Dogs, and it's a Scholastic Apple paperback. I have a whole collection of these Scholastic Apple paperbacks. Not one of them was written by Lois Duncan. So this one was really cool to find. This one was copyrighted in 1971, but this edition was printed in 2008. So that's really cool to have something from Lois Duncan that's not horror. It's very interesting, a very cool find, very exciting find. Um, let's see. As far as middle grade goes, okay. A good while back, I did a book haul and I showed you this one already. This is a Camelot printing of a Mary Downing Hahn book, and the book is called The Doll in the Garden. And I've had this one for a while now in my collection, but I actually just found a another printing of it. And when I found it at the store, I was like, "Oh yes, I finally found one that I don't have." And then I got home and I was like, "Ah, I do have it, but just in a different printing." But this one has a really cool cover. I really like it. Just for fun, okay, you know what? Just for fun, let's read the synopsis on the back of Hotel for Dogs, because look at this cover. You tell me that's not the most adorable book cover you've ever seen in your life. Okay, look, I love dogs. I love dogs. I want to adopt that lab right there. What is that? A golden retriever? Okay, that that boy or that girl should be right here on the couch next to me. I wish I had a dog again. Anyway, here's the synopsis on back. Andy loves dogs, so when an adorable stray shows up, Andy wants to save it, but she can't take it home. With the help of her brother Bruce, she rescues the stray and its puppies and moves them into an abandoned house down the block. Then they check in Red Rover, an Irish setter whose owner mistreats him, and MacTavish, who begs for scraps in the school playground, and more. Andy is thrilled she's running a dog hotel, uh, but can she and Bruce keep the canine castle going, or will a bark give their secret away? I guess they made a movie out of this. Interesting. Well, there's that. And then let's so this is going to be an older book, but let's see when the copyright is. This The Doll in the Garden by Mary Downing Hahn. So it shows that the copyright is 1989, but it doesn't say when this printing was printed. This is not the 1989 printing, but it says so. Oh, okay, it does say so. It's 2022, June 9th of 2022. Okay. So relatively new. Anyway, here's the synopsis. Can a doll belong to a ghost? Ashley can't get comfortable in her family's new apartment. Sometimes she hears a child crying, though no one is near. And everything she does, especially going into the garden or playing with a mysterious white cat, upsets the irritable landlady. The discovery of an old doll buried in the Forbidden Garden starts Ashley on a quest to find out who it belonged to and why it was buried. The landlady claims the doll is hers, but an eerie encounter makes it clear that the landlady lied and the doll's rightful owner wants it back, even though she died 70 years ago. Okay, that sounds really good. It's a shame I haven't read it yet. All right. And then as far as other middle grade books that I have goes, I found this one. It's another Scholastic printing by Barbara Brooks Wallace, and it's called Ghosts in the Gallery. And it's got a pretty, eerie cover. A young lady. I don't. She looks like a maid, I guess, in an old-fashioned Victorian home, possibly from another time. No synopsis on the back. It says this edition is only available for distribution through the school market. Okay, so someone must have bought this at the Scholastic Book Fair. And it was printed in the year 2001. And there's no synopsis to read, so I'll just move on. Then I found these Del Yearling books, and I really like finding these vintage ones. And these ones are in pretty good condition. They're both by John Bellairs. John Bellairs. He wrote this one called "The Letter, the Witch, and the Ring," and it's got a pretty cool looking cover. You can't really see it in this lighting. I'm sorry, but there's a young girl and an old lady in this old Victorian style home with a creepy shadow on the wall in the staircase. So, pretty compelling cover. Now let's go ahead and read the summary on the back. Rose Rita Pottinger is dreading summer. With her best friend Louis Barnevalt away at Boy Scout camp, vacation threatens to be altogether boring. But when Mrs. Zimmerman, Louis's next door neighbor and a genuine witch, receives a strange deathbed letter from an eccentric uncle, unexpected things start to happen. Rose Rita and Mrs. Zimmerman set off on a trip to discover the meaning of the letter, a ransacked farmhouse, a missing ring, shadowy figures appearing in the night, and a mysterious magic symbol are just the beginning as they are gradually drawn into a terrifying world of occult mysteries where Mrs. Zimmerman's failing powers can't help them. Okay, so I guess this is book number 3 in a trilogy, and I actually have book number 1. I picked it up like on Black Friday or something, and I have it. And then I'm guessing this is book number 2 in that trilogy, and it's called The House with a Clock in Its Walls. And it's got a pretty eerie looking cover. I really like it. Let's see what year this one was copyrighted. 1973. And yeah, the first one, I just want to see what year this was copyrighted. Um, 1976, and this is the 6th Dell printing from 1983. I mean, that's interesting. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, let's move on to some more middle grade books. And that's mostly what I have, actually. I'll do this one first, okay? This one is called Fright Night by Maren Stoffels. And that's a pretty cool cover. It's got a young girl crying blood with an expressionless face. I mean, pretty cool. Hey, give me a sec. All right. So let's go ahead and read the synopsis on back. Oh, and this is from the year 2020. Time to call it quits. I say catch up. As in ketchup, like what you dip your fries in, for those of you weirdos who eat ketchup. They have to stop now. Those are the rules. But the clown starts to chuckle. Ketchup? Did you say ketchup? That's the safe word, I reply, but my voice is faltering. Why isn't he listening? Get ready to scream. Sophia isn't so sure about Fright Night. When she suggested it to her friends, she was only thinking of it as an excuse to get closer to Dylan. Now that it's happening, she's worried that spending the night in a remote forest is a bad idea. But it's totally safe. There's even a safe word if things get too intense. And they do. Sophia and her friends are forced to face their greatest fears, and suddenly it's too late to turn back. I mean, that sounds interesting. Okay, then I found two Kate R. Alexander books that I didn't already have. The first one is called Speak for Me, and it's got a great looking cover. A very scary, like haunted or possessed doll. And the tagline on the front reads, Beware the doll, she wants to control it all. And the synopsis on the back reads, Everyone wants one. Not everyone can survive one. Nomi is afraid of dolls, but even she gives into pressure and winds up with an Emmy doll, which has enough artificial intelligence to help you with your homework, communicate with your friends, and organize your life. Nomi's friend Jenna promises that having an Emmy will make her life easier and will also make her less of an outsider. At first, this works. Nomi's doll is a good listener and a big help, but then the doll starts getting ideas of her own. Bad ideas, evil ideas, and Nomi realizes there's no way to turn her off. I haven't seen it, but I guess this is a retelling of Megan, which is kind of a retelling of Child's Play. This book is from October of 2022, and this book must have been some kid's Bible because some kid decided to highlight a whole bunch of words and passages and sentences in the first chapter. I could have sworn I read something about birthing order. I'm kind of into the psychology of children based on their birthing order. Huh, there's a Beyonce reference. And it looks like they stopped highlighting it in chapter 1. Okay, whatever, I'll take it. The second K.R. Alexander book that I have is called Dead Girl's Diary, and this has an interesting cover. So there's a girl's hand opening up a diary, and there's a ghost pulling the girl's hand into the diary. And it's called Dead Girl's Diary. That's the title. And the tagline on the front reads, Once you read it, it will haunt you forever. And this book is from 2024, so it's very new. And the synopsis on the back reads, I can see a dead girl. Kara has always felt a ghostly presence in her life. Now that she's 12, her visions are becoming more frequent, more frightening, and when a mysterious diary shows up on her doorstep, she knows it holds the key to discovering the identity of the girl who haunts her. After reading the pages of the diary, Kara suspects this girl didn't just die, she was killed. To discover the truth, she must visit the town where the ghost girl met her end. But if Kara isn't careful, she might meet her end there too. Okay, and that sounds good. All right, these were exciting finds. These last three middle grade books. I found another Graveyard School, and this one's in pretty good condition. Oh wow, there's no writing on the inside. Nice. Covers like in very good condition. This is book number 10 in the Graveyard School series, and it's called There's a Ghost in the Boys' Bathroom. And it's got an interesting looking cover. Ghost Boys shoes. Chuck Taylors. Um, let's go ahead and read the synopsis on back. Is Graveyard School going down the drain? Toilets exploding, paper towels floating in midair, disappearing soap. There's no doubt Graveyard School is haunted, but why did this ghost choose the boys' bathroom of all places? A few determined students are ready for a ghost hunt. Can they flush it out? You'll be dying to go to class at Graveyard School. I don't think I want to read this one. It's from 1996, by the way. Alrighty. And then I was really happy to find these because I believe Cameron Chaney has a collection of them, but I've never had them before, and these are the first two. And I found them at this thrift store that's really close to my apartment. And these things are in like mint condition. And the first one is book number 4 in the series, Spine Chillers by Fred E. Katz. And it's called Pizza with Extra Creeps. And there's a little boy, and I swear my little brother had that same shirt in the 90s, man. And he's eating pizza, watching TV, and with his dog. And there are these like scary looking hands coming out of the TV. Let's see what year this was printed. I mean, man, this thing's in mint condition. It's from 1996 as well. Let's go ahead and read the synopsis on the back because there's no tagline on the front. Creep City. When Max Walker hears a ghostly moaning coming from the room next to his and sees eyes peering at him from behind the curtains, he begins to believe the rumors that his new house is haunted. Could all the pizza he's been eating cause him to see and hear strange things? Max is sure it's more than pizza with extra creeps. Interesting. Okay. Then this is book number 6 in the Spine Chillers series, also by Fred E. Katz. And the book title is Not a Creature Was Stirring, with a question mark at the end. And there's a kid on the cover that had the same haircut that I had back in the 90s. And he's wearing his matching flannel jammies set. He must have a broken leg or something because he's got crutches. And there's a scary ventriloquist doll coming out from underneath the bed, which is Nightmare Fuel, by the way. And let's see what year this came out. Also 1996, and this copy is also in mint condition. Lucky me. All right, so no tagline on the front. Again, let's read the synopsis on the back. Yule Mania. Just before leaving with his parents to go skiing before Christmas, Connor Morgan breaks his leg. Fortunately, Great Aunt Bergen is coming to watch the house and Connor can stay with her. But there is something very strange about Aunt Bergen, and strange things start to happen when she arrives. Okay, so this one sounds like they both sound like they could be up my alley. I'm very glad to have found that Graveyard School and these 2 Spine Chillers because I don't believe I have any other Spine Chillers. I think I have one, and I don't think it had the same cover. Yeah, I think I do have one. Anyway, now I have 3 adult novels, okay? I found this one, and it's called Night Thirst by Patrick Whalen. I think it's Whalen. And look at this cover. This is some delicious 80s, 90s cheese. I mean, great looking cover. Looks like Nicolas Cage as a vampire. If your flesh and blood stay off the streets, that's the tagline. And this is a pocketbooks horror, and it's in excellent condition. And the synopsis on the back reads, "When the sun goes down, the hunger begins. Yesterday, they ruled a lonely monastery on a deserted island in the Pacific Northwest. Tonight, an entire city is theirs. They are the new ones. A thoroughly modern breed of vampire, terrifyingly unlike the blood-feeding ancients who came before them. Now Seattle bursts with the unholy presence of nocturnal predators for whom the hot, salty liquid from their living victims means not only survival, but superhuman power and indescribable ecstasy. Those they feed on rise again. They climb from beneath darkened streets, driven by a raging thirst that can never be sated. The humans who hunt them say there is nothing in this world that can't be destroyed. They're wrong." That's interesting. And see, I can't read this book because it's like in such nice condition. It's from June 1991, and I could sell this on eBay and make a profit. I'm not going to, but I could. So I'm not going to read it because it's just too nice to read. I hope I find a beat up copy one day. All right. Then I found this one called Dawn of the Vampire by William Hill. And it's got a great looking cover. Okay, look at that cover. You know, kind of a holographic cover. I mean, and that is eerie, full moon, with this vampire emerging from the water in a lake, a cabin in the woods behind him. I mean, this is such a great looking cover. And this is a Pinnacle Horror printing, and the tagline on the front reads, "The graves had been forgotten, but not the horrors within." Let's read the synopsis on back. Cemetery Ridge. Wraithville's cemetery had rested quietly under South Holston Lake, but now the receding waters exposed an island of graves. The coffins should have been removed when the dam was built, but no one had wanted to go near the cursed ground. No one wanted to touch those rotting caskets. Some things were best left alone. But now, as the tombstones emerged, so did the unstaked dead that had been buried beneath them. A new breed. Trapped by the deep, cold waters, the vampires had waited with undying patience for release. Freed, the ancient breed of blood drinkers arose with a frightful new power, seeking vengeance against all the living. And the sunlight no longer caused them to blister and burst into flame. They would walk and hunt by day. It had been a long time since they had been able to move at all. Now they would let nothing stop them. Nothing. That sounds pretty good. And this is from 1991. Wow, interesting. All right, and then I got one more for you, and it's called Blood Rights by Elaine Bergstrom. You know, not a bad looking cover. You know, it's kind of straightforward. I like it. Definitely conveys definitely conveys. All right, and the Milwaukee Journal writes an endorsement on the cover. Bergstrom's vampire is one of the breed, or Bergstrom's vampire is of the breed, and Rice fans will love. And I think that's what compelled me to get it. And apparently, she also wrote a book called Shattered Glass and another one called Blood Alone. But this one is called Blood Rights. And the tagline on the front reads, "Sometimes a kiss can last forever." So, the Cleveland Plain Dealer writes an endorsement on the back. "It's little wonder critics have compared Bergstrom's work to that of Anne Rice." Okay, so they're trying to draw comparisons to Anne Rice to sell this book. All right, that's all well and good. Let's read the synopsis. Like any great artist, Helen Wells craved immortality. Now, through the unholy kiss of Stephen Ostra, her vampire lover, she can taste eternity, but her passion demands a cruel price. Her utter surrender to the darkest animal urges, the aching need to hunt, to kill, to drink. At first, Helen resists the savage nature of this strange new life until a hired killer begins to stalk her family. Some men deserve to die, and some hungers demand to be fed. The Milwaukee Journal also writes, graceful, sexy, sophisticated, Bergstrom's vampire is worthy new member to the Fellowship of the Night. And I guess her previous novels of the vampire Ostra family are Shattered Glass and Blood Alone. So it sounds like this is book number 3 in a series. So I guess I won't be reading this one, at least not until I find the other two. All right, well, I guess that's going to do it. Those are the books. Like I said, I didn't show you everything. I just showed you a few highlights of things that I bought lately. But I think this was a fun one. I'm really excited about the KP Alexanders. I'm really excited about the Spine Chillers. I don't think I'll be reading those. I don't think I'll be reading Hotel for Dogs by Lois Duncan either, but I'm proud to own it, and I'm glad I found it. And I think that the Dawn of the Vampire and Night Thirst sounded really good. The Dawn of the Vampire one sounds like one that I'd love to read. So hopefully I get to knock that one out sometime this year. All right, well, thank you guys for watching, okay? Horns up, peace out.